So hey guys, so today we're gonna be doing a tier list off of Sonic games, and I thought it would be cool to do this for the 20 subs. And also thank you guys for supporting the channel, uh, helping this channel grow to be much more bigger, more in the future. And I really thank you guys for that. And so for the occasion, we're gonna do a tier list off of some Sonic games. So first, to start off, we're gonna start with Sonic 2, because for some reason Sonic 1 isn't. Oh, never mind, it is. It's here. So Sonic 1. So for me, I have played this game a bunch, but I feel like it's never that much where I would play it over and over again. I mean, for the first game, it's not that bad, but like, the controls are for sure not that great. For speed caps, you can't spin dash. No supersonic, yeah. And some of them are just fine. The zones are just fine. I think the music's catchy. For the first Sonic game, I think I'd just put it in A, just to make it fair. And now for Sonic 2, man, I adore this game. I played this game a lot on mobile, and I've always played this game a lot. And the zones are awesome. I love the fact that you can turn into supersonic, and the game is just fun to play. I really like the zones and abilities you can get in this game. For sure an S. And then Sonic 3. Where is Sonic 3? Oh, here it is. And then Sonic 3. Now, I've barely just started playing this game. At least more recently. More and more often. I would say it's good, but for sure not as good as Sonic 2. And then we got Sonic and Knuckles. I would put it just above of Sonic 3, just because of the music. And then of course we got that Michael Jackson song for Ice Cap Zone. Can't forget about that. And then of course we gotta start off with some other games. And of course I ended up forgetting about Sonic CD. Now Sonic CD, it's not that bad. I played quite a bit of this game before. The one problem is probably just the fact that some of the level design is pretty devious. It's a bit hard, but the music is just fire. The Japanese version is super good. I feel like I would just put it ahead of Sonic 1, just because it's a bit more iconic. I like it. Now, for some reason, we don't have like all the mainline Sonic games, but we got Sonic Triple Trouble. And for some reason, this is the only Game Gear game on this list. I have no idea why. Anyway, I've never played this. Hold on. I've never played this game, but I've heard that it's not that great either. But yeah, as you can see, you can play as Knuckles and Sonic and some other characters. But I've clearly never played this game before. But I've heard a lot of things about this. So, yeah. And then I don't think Sonic 3D Blast is here. Oh, I forgot Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Hold on. Now, as the full package, doing it in one run is a bit hard. Just the fact that it's pretty long. Now, yeah, don't get me wrong. This thing is pretty long. It is very long. So yeah. But as the full package, I feel like I would just put it ahead of Sonic 3. Oops. I would put it just barely ahead of Sonic 3, just as the full package. And then of course we got Shadow the Hedgehog, everybody's favorite GameCube game, which I have sadly never played. Now, I've heard a lot about this game. I've heard that, of course, the iconic lines of Shadow cursing, but to be honest, it seems pretty fun. I like how it looks, like the game itself, and it looks pretty fun. Although I've heard also some okay statements about this game, how it's like not that great either. I honestly don't care about it. I think it's pretty cool. Opening soundtrack intros also snaps. Anyway, let's head on to Sonic Adventure. Now, I've recently just barely started playing this game too, and I think it's just safe to say that I'm okay with this. It's for sure not better than the trilogy, at least for me. Although it's okay. I mean, as I said, I barely started playing it. I've never played it that much before in the past, besides these few months, and I had a fun time. But I feel like I would just barely just put it ahead of Sonic CD, just because of how iconic it is. And then of course we can't forget we got SA2, everybody's favorite game. And of course, this is an easy S. I'm honestly, I'm honestly trying to figure out like where I should put this game, cause Sonic Adventure 2 is just awesome. Like the levels are just so good. The soundtrack, nobody can forget about City Escape, Live and Learn, and it's just it's a great Sonic game. You can't complain about that. But yeah, it's pretty good. I honestly don't know where I should put this. If I should put it ahead of Sonic 2 or not. I feel like I would just put it barely ahead of Sonic 2. Barely. But if it wasn't for the fact that this is iconic, I probably would have been a little worse than Sonic 2. But I'll just put it at that part. And then we got Sonic Advance. The first one. Now I've barely just started playing this game too. And so far, it's not that great. It's one of my least favorite Sonic games so far. It's not that it's bad. It's just the fact of like how it controls, I guess. Well, and the fact that I barely just started playing it. But yeah, I mean, not the greatest thing in the world. And of course, the death pits are annoying. And I think a B is fair for this standard, just for the fact that it's a bit hard. But anyway, give me a sec. And then we got Sonic Advance 2. I feel like I would put this slightly higher than Sonic Advance in A tier. It's pretty cool, although it's pretty much the same game. Besides, they added cream, and the fact that they made getting 100% in this game a lot more harder. But I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, most of the levels are cool. The fact that Cream debuts in this game is crazy, because I honestly thought that she debuted a lot more earlier. But yeah, apparently she debuts in this game. Anyway, it's a fun game. You can't complain about that. Alright, next up we got Sonic Advance 3. I would for sure put this in over Sonic 1. Or, you know what, over Sonic CD 2. The fact that you can partner up characters from the Sonic series, like you can partner up Sonic and Tails, Knuckles and Sonic, Tails and Cream. It's pretty cool. I really like this game. I like the fact that you can like partner up characters, and they have different abilities. It really changes the game a lot. I really like it. And so up next we got Sonic Rush. And of course, this is probably going to be slightly better than Sonic Adventure, honestly. Just for the fact, I mean, I barely started playing it, but the music just slaps. The controls are, for the DS, it's not that bad. But the fact that it's very fast and slippery is what probably bothers me. But to be honest, the fact that the music is good, the level design is awesome, and overall, the game is just pretty cool. I really like it. And then next up, we got Sonic Adventure. Sonic Rush Adventure, my bad. Now, sadly, I have not played this game either. Just for the fact that, again, I barely just got it onto my 3DS. And so, I've heard many things about this. Arguments about if this version of Sonic Rush is better than the original. And to be honest, it looks like Adventure is slightly better than the original. I don't know. Anyway, we got Sonic Unleashed. That is a freaking S tier, man. Let's put it ahead of Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic Unleashed is just a masterpiece for me. Now, me personally, I played this game a lot back then on my PS3, but the fact that the intro is just so cinematic is what makes this game special. And the first time where you can actually have 3D boost in this game, and in the Sonic franchise too, it's just really good. I really like this game. Now, I've never finished it, but like I played a good amount of it, and it's really good. I really loved it. And of course, we got Sonic Heroes. And I've also barely just started playing it. But from what it looks so far, I feel like I would put it slightly higher than Sonic 3 and the full package of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or maybe even higher than Sonic and Knuckles. Whoops, hold on. Yeah, I would put it slightly under Sonic Unleashed, just for the fact that of course the special stages are a bit scuffed, but this game is still pretty awesome. I mean, everything else is a bit slippery. The boost is okay. The music slaps though. I really like the music in this game. Sonic Heroes is obviously better and the best. And yeah, I've recently just started playing this game, so not much recently. And so yeah. And then next we have Sonic 06, which is a game I've never played. And yeah, I've heard a lot about this game, about how bad and glitchy it is. But I've also heard a lot of things that's a bit underrated. And to be honest, I think that's fair that it's underrated. Because to be honest, I've seen this game a lot. And sure, it seems quite glitchy at times. But without Sonic 06, bro, we wouldn't have Silver. We wouldn't have Mephos. Sure, and they made Sonic Kiss a human, but like, I get that. But I feel like this game is still underrated, to be honest. And next we have Sonic and the Secret Rings, another game I've never played. And to be honest, I've heard many bad things about this. The fact that it's an auto runner, I've heard that the controls are terrible. And to be honest, I've also never really seen much of this game. Only seen like a bit of the story, but I've heard it's like not that great. This is like not the best thing. And then next we got Sonic and the Black Knight, also a game I've never really played. But I played a little. I've seen a little bit of this game, and I feel like it's very underrated. I mean, the game itself, like the controls, that's probably what makes this game a bit bad. But bro, Sonic becoming the knight, having a sword in a medieval type of timeline, how is that not awesome? It's taking notes from Saint Seiya, bro. That's just. If you've never heard of Knights of the Zodiac, go search that up, and you'll see that these two are a bit similar, except it's not medieval. And next up we have Sonic Generations, easily S tier. I would put this over Sonic Unleashed, but below Sonic 2. I played this game. I played the heck out of this game. This game is just awesome. I played a lot. I've tried 100%ing this game in the past. Not the greatest thing in the world. It's pretty hard. But I played a lot of this game. This game is very cool. And yes, I'm of course excited for Sonic X Shadow Generations. And I think that game will be probably the best game we have in this recent decade, besides Sonic Frontiers and Sonic Mania. But I think this will become the next Sonic game, best Sonic game. And now Sonic Lost World. I've never played this game actually, but I've heard a lot of bad things about this game. The fact that it's like very bad. Like even the 3DS port is pretty bad. And I feel like I can agree. This game is not that great. The storyline is a bit weird. And the control is just like I can agree with that honestly. I've heard that Sonic Lost World is just pretty bad. And yeah. And I can honestly see that, because this thing is just seems like a pretty bad game. Anyways, we got Sonic Colors, and I've actually played this game in the past, but very little on my Wii, because you know how we end up usually homebrewing our Wii's in the past, and we put our games in, you know, like I just did with my 3DS, putting a bunch of DS games and such. It's pretty good. I played a little bit of this game, although barely, because since we already had like the hard drive for the Wii, I didn't need it anymore. so I just returned it to GameStop. But I played a little bit of this game. Now I don't remember for sure, but I for sure remember that I had the game and I played it. And I've heard many things about this, and I feel like it's easy to say that it's a B tier. I feel like everything else, the zones are okay, and like the bosses are not that great, but the music saves it. The music is what saves it. Oh my god, Aquarium Park, Reach for the Stars. Those two songs are like the best in the entire game. It's really good. Anyway, we got Sonic Forces. Easy C tier. Yeah, I remember getting this game at a GameStop. I remember the day. I remember the first few days it came out. Oh man, what a treat I was in. I barely played this game, but I played enough of it to the point where I could say, what is this game? What is this game? I mean, honestly, some of the music just saves it, but like everything else is just bad. I really did not like this game at all. It's really bad. I don't like it. But I've heard many mixed feelings about this game. Like it's okay, but also not that great. But yeah. Anyway, I don't think it's just that good. Anyway, we got Sonic Mania. Easy S tier, bro. Easy. I feel like I would put it ahead of Sonic Adventure 2. This game is just awesome, bro. This game is just peak. This game is peak. I mean, it includes many zones of the trilogy, and even Sonic CD, and even includes its own new zones. And I really like that. This game is really fun. I remember getting the game and getting the DLC the time when this game came out. And I remember this is one of my first Nintendo Switch games. I've always loved playing this on the go. The game is just so good. The music is absolutely wild. I really think this is a good game, and I've honestly wished it had more. I really wish this game had a sequel, because if not, this thing might be the best Sonic game ever. This game is just awesome. And then the last Sonic game on this tier list, for some reason, is Sonic Frontiers. Now, for me, Sonic Frontiers, part of me wants to put it ahead of Sonic Adventure 2, but I feel like I would put it below it. It's for sure an S tier, but like for sure not ahead of these two games. The thing is, the game is good. The music, of course, is probably the best part. The music is so good. Finally, we got a 3D Sonic game that is not Sonic Unleashed or 06 or anything like that. It's its own game. The fact that it takes inspiration of like RPGs, the fact that there's skill points and missions, is what makes this game is what makes this game special. I mean, we've never pretty much had that type of Sonic game ever, besides Sonic the Dark Brotherhood. Sonic the Dark Brotherhood for the DS that pretty much nobody played because it was a failure. But Sonic Frontiers was for sure a success. I mean, for some reason, Sonic Superstars made past Sonic Frontiers, and I would for sure say that game is not exactly the best. Sonic Superstars is not that bad. I'm just saying, like, Sonic Superstars shouldn't really deserve a better praise than Sonic Frontiers. I mean, after what happened in the last decade for Sonic franchise, this was a major comeback. This was a major comeback for Nintendo and for everybody, honestly. I mean, it's its own game. It's pretty good. And so yeah, for some reason this tier list only has these few games. I honestly don't know why, but yeah, this is my personal own tier list as to what I think these games are, and I think these games deserve better. And now we're gonna make a Kirby tier list. Alright, we're back. So this is a Kirby tier list, and yeah, let's get to it. So to start off with the first game, just give me a sec. Okay, to start off, Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. Now, for how this game is, it is extremely short. I kid you not, this took me like probably 10 minutes to beat. 20. This game is just short. And then the fact that this thing has a expert difficulty is what makes this game pretty weird. Now, for me, it's mixed feelings. Like, it's okay. It's not bad for the first Kirby game, but like it's also not that terrible. It's not that great for it to be a good Kirby game. But I would just put it at not bad, because it's let's just face it, it's not really the best thing ever. And next up we got Kirby's Adventure for the NES. I played a lot of this game, and this game is just pretty cool. This game is actually peak. One of my favorite NES games to play on the go, and I would say this is pretty good. It's really good. The fact that they actually included copy abilities and good bosses and different good music is pretty good. So yeah. Now Kirby Star Stacker for the Game Boy. I haven't played the Game Boy version of this game, but from what it looks like looks like an okay game. It's just some puzzle game really, but if I feel like I would just put it in at like not great, because I've also heard that the visuals are not good at all. Anyway, we got Kirby's Block Ball. For sure, it's for sure terrible. It's not that good. I mean, it's also a short game. Most of these Game Boy games are pretty short. That's the problem with this. But that's the thing. This is pretty short. It's a short game. I really don't like how this ends up controlling. And yeah. Next up we got Kirby's Pinball Land. Yay. I'd probably put this in trash, but I want to be faithful to it and put terrible. I really don't like this game either. It's just a fact that it's pinball. What do you expect? Pinball and Game Boy does not really work well. And so, yeah. Next up, we actually have a good Kirby game. Kirby's Dream Land 2. Peak. This game actually added good music, good copy abilities, and actually added the animal friends, Cool, Kind, and Rick. Pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like the best game ever, but for how the Game Boy is, and how big this game is, it for sure made a big impact on the first Kirby game, and that really shows. And so, yeah, next up we have Kirby Superstar. Also peak. This game is awesome. I played a lot of this game. Ever since I played this game, it's been completely different of how I thought of the Kirby series. The music is just so good. They have many modes. The modes are awesome. And yeah, this game is just awesome. And without this, we would not have the arena. Kirby's staple of the boss rush. And I really liked it. And yeah, this game is just pretty cool to pick up if you don't have it. Anyway, we've got Kirby's Avalanche. Now it is not. It's basically Kirby Puyo Puyo. I mean, if you're into Puyo Puyo, it's okay. I would put it at not bad. Better than Kirby's Dream Land, honestly. I mean, again, it's just Puyo Puyo but Kirby. There's really not much of a difference on this version of Puyo Puyo, but I feel like it's pretty good, and I don't think it's really that bad. But I'm not really much into Puyo Puyo. I would think like something like more like Tetris or something. But if you're like into Puyo Puyo, this is a game for you. And then next up we have Kirby's Dream Land 3. Also peak. But I would only put it slightly under Superstar, just for the fact that it's pretty hard. And they removed some of the copy abilities for some reason. I don't know why, but they did. But this game is awesome. This game is still awesome. The artwork is just amazing. Even probably the best Kirby game with the best artwork so far. Probably. And yeah, this game is just pretty cool. Alright. Next up we have Kirby's Dream Course. This one's honestly, not gonna lie, pretty good. It's pretty good if you have someone else to play with. If you don't have somebody else to play with, the story mode is okay. But the 2-player mode in this game is what makes this game shine. This game is really fun. I mean, it's pretty much Kirby Golf, but the twist to this game is that you have abilities, and with abilities, you can like have different abilities, like the tornado, spark, a parasol, and the best ability in the entire game, UFO. But you also have like a health meter or sleep meter, I guess. Like each time you take a turn, your meter goes down and down, and then once it reaches 0, you skip your turn. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. It's a pretty interesting game if you like playing this with if you have two people. And this game is really fun. I honestly prefer Dream Course than these 5 games, honestly. And then next up we have Kirby Tilt and Tumble. I swear this thing is actual like garbage. I played quite a bit of this game, and I honestly kind of regret doing so. Thanks to Switch Online, I've played a bit of this Kirby game, and it is just garbage. It's not that good. The controls are just terrible. I really did not like this game. I guess what's funny is the fact that they gave Kirby voice acting, and I believe this is the first. No, never mind. It's not the first Kirby game to have voice acting. That was Super Smash Bros. Never mind. But anyway, yeah, this is just not a good Kirby game. I wouldn't really prefer. I prefer honestly any other Kirby game besides this one. This one's just straight up bad. I really don't like it. But yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on to Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. This is what the Kirby series needed. It's basically a remake of Kirby's Adventure, done actually good. First of all, everything in this entire game is completely redone. I mean, not the levels itself, but like the artwork. It's completely different. I think they did a really good move on changing the artwork in this thing. And yeah, this game is pretty cool. And if you really want to play like a slightly better version of Kirby's Adventure, I prefer playing this game. It's pretty cool. I honestly really liked it. And then next up we have Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Actual peak. Probably better than Kirby Superstar, for sure. This game is awesome. And this game is awesome when you have 4 people. The fact that Nintendo was actually able to put multiplayer on a game like Kirby back in the past, like in the 2000s, like in the early 2000s, is what's still crazy to me. The fact that you can play 4 people on this big Kirby game on the Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance, bro. This game was on the Game Boy Advance. This is actual peak. This game is actual peak. It has cool abilities. It has cool music. It has good level design. The minigames are honestly pretty good. The modes are also good. And yeah, the fact that they also added collectibles or like the treasures, that's what's also pretty good about this game. I really liked playing this game. It's really good. Next up we have Kirby Air Ride. Now I don't really have a good opinion on this game. Just the fact that I've never played it before. But from what I've heard that it's honestly decent. And decent. I feel like I prefer putting it in good. Now it's a racer, of course, but it's just the sad fact that this was the only Kirby game on the GameCube. Yeah, I'm not kidding. This is the only Kirby game in the GameCube. I feel that's a really missed opportunity. Then again, without we wouldn't have gotten Kirby's Return to Dreamland. And speaking of that, we got Kirby 64. I feel like I would put this in best, but yeah, I would put this below Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. God, the soundtrack in this game is absolute fire. The soundtrack in this game is probably the best thing I've ever heard. The fact about the game having good music and the fact that you can mix abilities is what's so good about this game. It's still pretty weird to me that no other game besides this specific Kirby game is the only one where you can mix abilities. That's what's still crazy to me. And this game is just so nostalgic. This game is very good to pick up if you have an N64 and you don't have any much good games. This is for sure one of the games you should get. This game is really cool. I really end up liking it. Very good. And so yeah, now we're gonna head on to the DS games. Starting off with Kirby Superstar Ultra. This is what they needed. This is what the Kirby franchise needed. They fixed pretty much every issue in Kirby Superstar, period. This game is awesome. The artwork is obviously completely cool. The music is a bit butchered, but that's just because of the DS. But the music is still good. I mean, it's not bad. It's still good overall. The fact that they added new modes and the true arena is what's really cool about this game. And yeah, the modes, and yeah, they did everything in this game absolutely right. And yeah, I've honestly adored this game the second I got it. It's just amazing. Anyway, we got Kirby Canvas Curse. If you're into hard games, this is for you. I'm just gonna put it at like good, ahead of Kirby Air Ride. Now I'm putting it in good just for the fact that this game controls like it's really hard to control. The music, I personally don't like how the music is designed. I mean, it's not bad, but like it's also not the greatest soundtrack I've heard in the Kirby series. But it's cool and it's pretty charming. And to be honest, I feel like this game is pretty underrated for how it is, for being a touchscreen only type of game. I really liked it. And yeah, I think it's pretty underrated. Next we have Kirby Squeak Squad. I would put this ahead of Superstar. This game is pretty good. The fact that you can hold your abilities is what makes this game actually good. And so yeah, I feel like this game really made a well done type of level design. And yeah, again, the fact you can hold onto your like abilities and mix them to make different abilities too. Like fire and sword actually make fire sword, although it's not the same as Kirby 64 again. But this game is still cool. I honestly really liked it. The soundtrack's also good, the modes are good, and this game is fun to have if you have a DS. But I would still prefer playing Kirby Superstar Ultra. That's still the best Kirby game so far. Next we have Kirby Mass Attack. For how this is, I would put this at good, or actually not bad. Ahead of these games though. I have a bitter beef with this game. The major problem with this game is the fact that it takes so long to complete one level. Even the tutorial level takes like about 10 minutes to beat. And then 100% in this game is like actually hard. I would say this is probably harder than Canvas Curse, which is a shame, but like Wow, this game is actually hard. For once, Kirby actually made hard is not that great. I mean, some of the soundtrack is pretty iconic, but like, it's not that great. I would prefer Canvas Curse over Mass Attack, just for the fact that the level design is a bit weird. The levels are made a bit too long, and yeah, it's just not that great. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't put it as the some of the first Kirby games I would start playing out of the random, but I think it's okay. All right, next up we have is Kirby Return of Dreamland. Peak. Well, I'm honestly don't know if I should put it ahead of Kirby Superstar Ultra or not, but the guts is telling me I should. But you know what? I think I should put it aside. It's for sure one of the best Kirby games on the series franchise yet. Period. Oh my bad. But this game is still pretty good. The fact that they added new abilities to this game, new modes, and this game is just pretty good. I honestly really like this game. And yeah, this is what the series needed. This is also the first time we get to play as King Dedede and even Bandana Waterly. I honestly really like this game. I've heard many things about this game, the Wii version specifically, because I played the Switch version of this game when it came out, but I've never really played much of the Wii version. But it seems pretty good, not gonna lie. And so yeah, on to the next game, Kirby's Epic Yarn. Now I haven't played this version of the game specifically, but I've heard many things about this game. And I think I would put it slightly under, well, probably ahead of Adventure and Dream Course. I've heard many stuff about this game and how cute looking some of the characters are. And yeah, I've overall heard a lot of stuff about this game. I played a bit of the 3DS version, Extra Epic Yarn, which is coming up in a bit. But yeah, this game is honestly fun if you have a Wii. And yeah, this game is honestly pretty cool. And then we have Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn for the 3DS. Now I have played this version, but it's pretty much the same thing. Probably ahead of the original. Just the fact that they added hats or like abilities to this game is what's pretty cool. And the fact that it's on the go. I mean, they put like a few Wii games onto the 3DS, which is pretty insane to me. They put DK Country Returns to 3DS. That is still wild. They put this game onto the 3DS. Still pretty wild. And yeah, I think this game is still pretty cool. I honestly really like this game. It's cool level design. It's cute. The artwork is pretty cool. I like the fact that it's all yarn. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Next we have Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. I've heard many things about this game. I've heard many comparisons between Canvas Curse, but in bad ways. I've heard that this is like pretty much the worst version of Canvas Curse, and I could see that. I feel like I would put this in trash. Or just to be slightly forgiving, I'll just put it ahead of these games. It's not one of the good games for sure for the Wii U. I mean, coming from the Wii U, obviously it's not gonna be that great, but they still could have fixed it. Like, I've heard many things about this game. How it's pretty much the exact same game as Canvas Curse, but done worse. I've heard that the soundtrack is pretty bad. I've heard a bit of it, and yeah, I can agree. It's not that great. And I've heard that the bosses, the levels I've heard that it takes forever to complete. I could see why. And yeah, I could really honestly just see why this would be one of the worst games. Anyway, we got Kirby's 20th anniversary for the Wii. Now, basically, this is basically the best Kirby game if you don't have like the classics already. Like if you don't have Kirby 64, Dreamland 3, Dreamland 2, the first one, Adventure, this is pretty much the best game. But if you don't already, I just putting it over all the classics just because it has pretty much all of them. But like, it's not exactly the best thing if you already have these games. But like the fact that they also added a completely new mode, like the challenge mode to this game, is what makes it special. I really like it. It's also pretty funny that they use the Kirby's Return of Dreamland engine to run this. It's pretty cool. I honestly really like this game. And next we have Team Kirby Clash, for the Switch and 3DS. Now, I think this is 3DS version. Never mind. So the 3DS version, I played a little bit of it. I would put it in. I feel like I'd put it over Mass Attack. It's not bad, but the fact that like some of the bosses are already like overpowered and you already are is what sucks about this. It really sucks when it takes like a lot of gem apples to upgrade your weapons, and the fact that you barely get any if you complete a boss. Even if it's a hard boss, like it's still pretty hard to get some gem apples in this game or shards. And yeah, this is for sure not one of my go-to games on any platform, but I prefer if you like a good fighter type of game. Anyway, we have Kirby Battle Royale. I've heard many stuff about this game, and I played a little bit of it. I feel like I would just put it right above Team Kirby Clash, or just below it. Yeah, Team Kirby Battle Royale is, I believe, the worst selling Kirby game in the entire franchise. I've heard that it only sold like over 300,000 copies. So yeah, this game was a big flop. I mean, I don't see why it's really that bad, but I for sure wouldn't say it's the worst game ever. I would just say like it's just not good and get on with it. It's not exactly the worst game to have, especially for Kirby. But like, let's be honest, I feel like it's a bit underrated, a little bit. And yeah. Anyway, we got Kirby Fighters 2. And I've heard a lot of stuff about this for the Switch, and I've heard that it's a bad pay to win. I've heard that it's a pretty bad pay to win. I mean, I would have the same feeling with Team Kirby Clash, but the thing of how Team Kirby Clash is slightly better is the fact that it's more fair, slightly. And then with Team Kirby Clash, Kirby Fighters 2, my bad. I've heard that like even the new ability of Macho or whatever that is, wrestler, whatever it is, I've heard it's like not even that good. And yeah, I could see why. Yeah, I wouldn't really prefer this as one of my go-to games. So yeah. Now we have Kirby's Blowout Blast. I would put this over pretty good. Like, it's not exactly the best Kirby game, exactly, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, Kirby Blowout Blast is like not that bad, but like it's okay for like a 3DS title. It's not the worst thing in the world, but like I would for sure prefer some other Kirby games, like the best game tier. But like, for what it is, if you like a good puzzle game sort of thing, it's fun. It's for sure probably the best minigame-ish type of game, because it basically takes it kind of like takes Kirby's Triple Deluxe engine and converts it into its whole entire game. I mean, it's Kirby Planet Robobot's mini game, basically turned into its own game. But I think it's pretty good. I mean, not that bad. Next up, we have Kirby Triple Deluxe. I would slightly put it. I would put it right above Dreamland 3. This game is not the best, but what saves it is some of the soundtrack. It's sort of just another Kirby game. It's not that great. I've heard a lot of disputations of like this being a bit too similar to Planet Robobot, and just the fact that it's like okay. I mean, I can agree with that. It's not exactly the best Kirby game on the 3DS or anything, to be honest. I would honestly prefer some other games, of course. And yeah. Next up, we have Kirby Planet Robobot. Peak. This game is peak. Now, actually, let me just put it ahead. I'm putting it ahead of Kirby Superstar Ultra. This game is just absolute peak. I kid you not. They fixed every issue they had with Triple Deluxe and made it better. The fact that they made a completely different style of Kirby, cyber, robotic, they made a cyber and robotic type of game to Kirby, and they absolutely nailed it. It's so good. The mini games, of course, are good. I mean, that's what made Kirby Blowout Blast. GG's Drum Dash, it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't prefer getting the actual game unless you're a collector. But this is still, so far, one of my favorite Kirby games of all time. This game it has good modes. They brought back the Meta Knight game mode. They brought that back, and I really like that. The True Arena is a complete challenge. It's probably the first true arena where I actually feel challenged. Because most of the arenas in the other games are like whatever, they're not that bad. But this game's arena specifically really nailed it. Cause they blew it out of the park with this game. It's just amazing, honestly. The next we have Kirby Star Allies. I feel like I would put this right below everything else. Well, ahead of Triple Deluxe, but nothing greater. This game is okay. Honestly. It's not exactly the best game I've played, for sure. But like once I had the Switch, I believe this was like the third Nintendo Switch game I've had, besides Sonic Mania and Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. Besides that, this was, I believe, my first ever Kirby game. I believe so. This is obviously one of my favorite childhood games. Just again for the fact that this was, again, probably the first Kirby game I've ever played, besides Adventure and Superstar and Dream Course. But this game is still peak. This game is pretty good. I mean, sure, what sucks about it is that this game runs at 30 FPS, but the menus don't. They run at 60 for some reason. But I've never really had much of an issue with that, honestly. Not much. But this game, I know that they brought back the mixing abilities, but it's not the same thing as 64 again. I still really wish they would have made it at 64. If they did that and fixed like some issues with the games, like this would probably be my fourth favorite Kirby game if they made the mixing abilities actually good. Besides that, they blew it out of the park with this one. It's, I mean, it's fine for what it is for the Nintendo Switch. For Kirby's first Nintendo Switch game is not bad. It's honestly not that bad. But I for sure prefer the classics over this one. And then, of course, the final game, the last game that does not include the Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. We have Kirby in the Forgotten Land. I would put this slightly over Return to Dreamland. They made Kirby Blow Up Blast, but a whole lot better. They actually made the entire game 3D for once. They blew it out of the park with this one. The music is absolutely awesome. The levels are actually fun. They included special stages for the shards, which is actually pretty cool. They even brought some new abilities like Drill and Ranger, which is still pretty fun to me, with basically Kirby with a gun. And yeah, they made this game pretty good. It's for sure one of my go-to Kirby games for the Switch. I would for sure put this game as one of my favorite games. And so yeah, this was the full Kirby tier list. And yeah, this is how I feel about pretty much every single, not all the Kirby games, because we missed a few, pretty sure. We didn't put Kirby Dream Land Deluxe. But anyway, yeah, this was my thoughts of the Kirby games. And now let's head onto the Mario games, onto the Mario tier list. Okay, so for last off this video, I'm gonna put a Mario tier list for this. This is just gonna be for some of the Mario games. This is not all of them, but this is at least a few of them. All right, so let's get into it. Let's start off with Donkey Kong. For what this is, it's excellent. It's pretty good. I mean, sure, it's basically the shortest game ever. Only 3 levels in the entire game. 4 if you include the arcade. But this game is still pretty good. I honestly really like this game. I mean, of course, it's iconic. It's Nintendo's best-selling, first best-selling game. And of course, it's Donkey Kong's first game. You can't complain about that. And so, yeah. And now let's get into some of the other stuff. And Donkey Kong Jr., I would put this in good. It's for sure not like one of the best Mario games I've seen, but it's for sure not the best. I mean, it's for sure not the worst one either. Donkey Kong Jr. is like okay. It's not exactly the best. And yeah. So sorry if I end up speeding a bit too much and not adding much detail, but it's just the fact that I'm trying to hurry this video up so I don't make it too long. Anyway, Super Mario 1, the first Mario game, the first actual Mario game. It's still okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a good Mario game. For Mario's first game, it's good. It's just the fact that it's on the it's not, it doesn't control that well. And you can beat it in like what, 10 minutes? I mean, if you get all the warps, yes, you can beat it in like 10 minutes. But besides that, it's good. It's okay. I feel like it's an okay NES game. I mean, it's one of my go-tos, but I prefer some other ones, honestly. And so, yeah. Next up, we got Super Mario 2. Now, this is the one game where I think it deserves peak. It fixed pretty much all the problems here. And the fact that this was originally just some Famicom game and turned it to a Mario game is pretty cool. The music in this game is pretty good. The fact that you can be Peach, Toad, and Luigi is what makes this game pretty cool. And yeah, this game is it's pretty. I love this game. All right, next up we have Super Mario Bros. 3. This one is actually peak. This is for sure one of the best Mario games 2D Mario games I've ever played, and this one still continues to be my favorite, one of my favorite ones of all time. Just the fact that the music is so good. The raccoon suit, the leaf is good. The level design is pretty good. The fact that they still kept the warps with the warp whistles here is still pretty good. I really love this game. And so yeah, now we're gonna head on to Super Mario Land. For the Game Boy, it's charming. I honestly really liked it. I put it ahead of Super Mario Bros. I mean, sure, it's a Game Boy game. It hasn't exactly aged very well, especially for the fact that it doesn't look very good. But the fact that this Mario game, I feel like it's pretty underrated. There's something about this game that gives it charm. Like, the music in this game is still pretty cool, and this game's awesome, man. I mean, it's for sure the best, better than the original Super Mario Bros. And yeah, this game is still pretty good. Alright, now we have Super Mario Land 2. And they fixed pretty much everything in this game. From the first game. This game is still pretty good, and again, it's still on the pretty underrated side. Just for the fact that they fixed pretty much every single issue that the first game had. It's longer. The pixel design on this game is actually good. There's new power ups. You got the bunny suit. We got Wario, and this game's pretty cool. And I honestly really like this game. This is one of my favorite Game Boy games for sure. And so yeah. Oh yeah. Who could forget Mario and the Lost Levels? Basically, Super Mario Bros. 2, Japan Edition. That's how I feel about it. Can we all agree that this game is just too hard? This game is something else. They made this game like everybody's a speedrunner. Basically, Nintendo really thought that everybody was a speedrunner in Mario. Because I swear, this thing is actually bonkers. It is terrible for the first Mario game. Absolutely terrible. I mean, it's okay, but like, man, they really ruined the first Mario game. They made the level design so much harder. They changed virtually nothing from the first game. All they did, change a few graphics, made Luigi and Mario a bit different with their abilities. Added a few worlds that are unfair level design. That's it. That's all that's new to this game. That's it. And alrighty, so on with that, we're gonna go ahead with Super Mario World. I played quite a bit of this game with my brothers, and this still continues to be one of my favorite Mario games. At least when there's people around, because this game is nostalgic. I remember when most of the soundtrack was like used in memes. I mean, it still kind of is today, but not as how it used to be before. And I feel like this game is still pretty underrated. And yeah, this game was pretty ahead of its time. And so yeah, now it's time for Super Mario RPG. I played a little bit of this game recently, and to be honest, it's pretty good. Like, even better than Super Mario Land 2. I haven't played enough of it to say it's really good, but I played enough of it where it's charming, and the game, the soundtrack, everything about it is pretty good. I honestly really like this game in particular. It's really good. Alrighty, so we have Super Mario 64, the game that I really adore. This game is still one of my favorite games to this day. Best N64 games by far. Best speedrunner game by far. Best 3D Mario for sure. Most likely. And yeah, this game is just peak. This game really fixed most issues. And the soundtrack is just good. The levels are iconic. The themes are good. The voice lines are also iconic. And it's the fact about this game that started pretty much speedrunning. That's what I really love about this game. And yeah. Alright, let's head on to some of the other games. Okay, so next up we have Super Mario Sunshine. And I put this over Super Mario Bros. 3, honestly. And yeah, this game is honestly highly underrated. It's iconic. The fact that it's much different from Super Mario 64 for sure, for how it controls, how the story is. But it's the fact that most of the voice lines, the levels, and how the story is built up is what makes it special about this GameCube game. And I played quite a bit of it on the Switch with Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And I'd like to say this is one of my favorite. Also, this is also one of my favorite 3D Mario games of all time, for sure. And yeah, oh yeah, who could forget Paper Mario N64 version? This is still one of my favorite looking N64 games, just for the fact that it's pretty good. I mean, for the first Paper Mario game, it's not bad, but it's for sure not one of my favorite Paper Mario games. It's still pretty good. It's still pretty cool. It's on the N64. And I honestly did not know this game was on the N64 until recently, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I think that most of the soundtrack again is pretty iconic. And yeah, and so we have this Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I've heard a lot about this game. Now the thing is that I haven't played this game, but from what it looks like it deserves to be ahead of this. Now again, I haven't played this game at all, but it seems like a good game nonetheless. And yeah, looks like a good Mario RPG, of course. And so now we're gonna head on to some of the Wii games. First, heading on to Super Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy is what makes 3D Mario peak. The thing about this game is what's good. Like, man, the soundtrack of this game is peak. The fact that you can play as Luigi is peak. The fact is, everything about this game is what's pretty good. I honestly adore this game. Now we're gonna head on to Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is also another game I've never played, but I've heard a lot of discussions about this game, whether it's better or worse than the original. But from what it looks like, I feel like it would be slightly better than the original. And I feel like I would agree. Most of the soundtrack is also iconic. And yeah. And we have Super Paper Mario for the Wii. And I've heard that this is also one of the other underrated games. But I've heard that not exactly the best. You know what? Let's put it ahead of Donkey Kong. Can I? Like right here. Better than Paper Mario and 64. And yeah, I've seen quite a bit of gameplay of this game, and I have my ups and downs. Again, I've never played this game before myself, so I can't really tell you the experience of this game. But yeah. Okay, so we're gonna head on to DS games, which is literally just one. And then yeah, that is Super Mario 64 DS. And to be honest, If it weren't for the controls, this would be better than the original. But it's the fact that they ruined the controls. So this really set back. This really set it back. But what makes this game good is the fact that they added more characters like Wario and Luigi and Yoshi. But you've never been able to play Yoshi in the 3D Mario game besides Mario Galaxy and Yoshi's Island. But that was it. This was the only time where Yoshi was by himself and you can actually play as him. Again, it's the fact that they ruined the controls for the game is what I really don't like about. I feel like they ruined the controls. The fact that you had to use a D-pad, and the fact, even with the 3DS, that the controls are still messed up. I really don't like that. But anyway, let's move on. So I'm gonna jump ahead and go to the Wii U game, Paper Mario Color Splash. I've heard a lot about this game, and I've seen quite a bit of this game too. I've heard the fact that it's not one of the best Mario games for sure, and I would kind of agree. I would put it ahead of this. I would just put it at great, but that's it. And yeah, it's just the fact that I've heard that the storyline is a bit boring, and to be honest, I feel like I would agree. I only really saw this when I was a kid, but that was it. I've never really heard much of this game. Next we have this new Super Mario Bros. The way I would rate this, better than new Super Mario, better than Super Mario 64 DS, for sure. This game is honestly pretty good, and when I first tried it out, I was kind of skeptical, but when I actually tried it out, it's pretty good. It's for sure one of the best 2D Mario games I played. And yeah, I would prefer getting this over any of the DS Mario games for sure. And yeah, this game is honestly pretty good, not gonna lie. Alright, so up next we have New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And to be honest, I believe I played a little bit of this game. Maybe. But I feel like I would just put it ahead of great. I mean, it's good all in all, but like, you know what, let's put it ahead of Super Mario Land 2. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I feel like this one is still like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good 2D platformer, but I wouldn't rate it as exactly the best New Super Mario Bros. Game for sure. Just for the fact that spin jumping, you have to shake the controller, which kind of sucks. Anyway, I've seen a little bit of this game, quite a bit on the bosses and such, and I've heard from basically many people that it's just an okay, not exactly the best. And so with that, excuse me. Anyway, we're gonna go to New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. I feel like I would put this ahead of New Super Wii, but that's it. The thing about this game, the golden fire flower, that's new. Let me see what else. They added level packs. You know, the DLC, like the Impossible pack, Gold Rush pack. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's it. There's not much different about this game. It's just another new Super Wii, guys. It's not much different. Honestly, I played quite a bit of this game, and it's still pretty much the same. I've heard a lot about New Super Mario Bros. U, how it's just the same thing. I've played a little bit of this with New Super Mario Maker, and yeah, I could see why. It's just another new Super Wii, guys. It is not different from the other New Super Mario Bros. Series. And wait, my bad. And yeah, anyway, new super new Super Luigi U's. To be honest, this had no reason to exist. This had absolutely no reason to exist whatsoever. Don't get me wrong, it's okay. The thing about this game is just the fact that the only reason they did this was for Luigi. It was Year of Luigi, which, not gonna lie, was actually a failure. Besides that, all they did different with this game, different level design and shorter levels, and you can only play as Luigi and Toads, and that's it. I'm not kidding, that's literally it. There's no difference whatsoever. Just another new soup U. I swear. Now, new Soup U Deluxe, I feel like would barely go better than the entire series. Well, better than the other games besides New Soup. Besides the original New Super Mario Bros. Besides that, I feel like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe only makes it better. Just the fact that it's HD, it's on the Switch. They can spin jump without having to actually shake the controller, and the fact that you can play as Peach. But besides that, no difference. Besides that, no difference whatsoever. Paper Mario Sticker Star. I have heard a lot about this game. I've heard the fact that it's one of the worst Paper Mario games I've heard about. And I've seen quite a bit of this game. And yeah. Hold on, give me a sec. And yeah, I've heard that Sticker Star is like really bad. And like the fact that it was like a complete failure. I have not heard one single person say that this is a good Paper Mario game. So from what I think, I would just put it into bad tier. Slightly worse than the last levels. Okay, anyway, we have New Super Mario 3D World, the original for the Wii U. This seemed like a good game overall, better than New Super Mario Bros. I mean, from what it looks like, it's a good 3D Mario game from what I've seen. The thing about this game is that it borrows a lot of stuff from New Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS. Which, speaking of, I'm gonna put that on the tier list right now. Hold on, give me a sec. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it slightly under New Super Mario. I'm gonna put it like right here, like right between here. I'm gonna put it right here. So yeah, anyway, New Super Mario 3D World is pretty much the exact same thing as Super Mario 3D Land, almost. Besides, you can play as Peach, you can play as Toad, you can play as Luigi, and at some point you can also play as Rosalina. Only after if you beat the game. Oh, what else? You can turn into a cat. Yeah, sure, you can turn into a cat. What else? Yeah. Oh, you get the double cherry, where you add more of the same. You control more than just one character. Let me see. Oh yeah, New Super Mario 3D World and New Super Mario 3D Land are pretty much the exact same game, besides being on different engines, and the fact that they have a similar soundtrack. Don't get me wrong. Go to Super Bell Hill in Super Mario 3D World, and go to the first level, 1-1 in Super Mario 3D Land. That is how similar the soundtrack is. Like they didn't make it like pretty much any different. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. There's not much to say about it. Now, Paper Mario or Origami King. I've heard a lot of stuff about this specific game, and I've heard that it's one of the lesser good games of Paper Mario. Probably ahead of Color Splash, but I've heard that it's like not exactly the best Mario game, to be fair. And yeah, so far, I've seen quite a bit of stuff with Origami King. And I've heard it's not that great. I will just put it. You know what? Let me put that in good. I haven't heard anything good about this game. Anyway, we have Super Mario Maker, the original. This game is actual peak. This game's actual peak. The thing about this game, it mixes the original Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, and Super Mario U. New Super Mario U. That's a lot, Nintendo. And then the fact that you put amiibo support for this, and what it does, it gives you costumes. That's insane. That's actually peak though. That's really good. Anyway, let me just head on and put this over the original. The one thing that makes this game actually better is just the fact that they added more stuff. They added a new Super Mario Bros. 2 style. They added freaking Legend of Zelda style. They added Super Mario Land style. I can go ahead. They added a lot. They even put Super Mario 3D Land. That's a lot. I mean, not 3D Land, 3D World. They even put the Super Mario 3D World engine onto a game like Super Mario Maker 2. That is a lot, Nintendo. That is still a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, this is one of my favorite Nintendo Switch games. I mean, sure, there's some bad Maker levels, like those trashy ones. But like, don't get me wrong, this is still a good Super Mario Maker. It's one of my favorite Switch games for sure. And hold on, let me just put Donkey Kong. I take it back. I'm gonna put Donkey Kong like right here, right above DK Jr. And so anyway, we have Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Is it worth getting for $60 for basically the same game, for basically the exact same game, and a 3-hour game? Is it worth it? And my answer is no. I would put the classics over this game. Don't get me wrong, this is a $60 game. Okay? This game costs $60, the original game and a 3-hour game. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about this game, and Bowser's Fury specifically. I've seen a lot of speedruns of this, and it seems fun, like the game itself. It's just the fact that it's $60 and it's only a 3-hour game is what bothers me about this game. That's the thing about it. But besides that, I think it's fair to say that it's slightly better than the new Super Wii series. Besides New Super Mario Brothers, the original for the DS. Anyway, Super Mario Run. This game is absolute garbage. I swear, Nintendo, what the heck did you do to this game? I swear. They absolutely butchered mobile. I actually swear, man. They ruined any sense of fun. All they give you is a few levels, and that's it. Everything else, you have to pay for it. Nintendo, why? Why are you so much into this? You're in the exact same way for Dr. Mario. You're in the exact same way for Mario Kart Wii. And you're in the exact same thing for Mario Run. Bro, stop. Actually, just stop. This is the one game that infuriates me about Nintendo. The fact that they're that devious to not even give you the entire game and make you pay to even play the entire game. All they gave you is like what? 4 levels? 4 levels is nothing, Nintendo. 4 levels is nothing compared to, like, what? 30 to 40? That's nothing. That's actually nothing. This game's trash. Let's move on. Anyway, the Super Mario Odyssey. This game is peak. This is the one game that surpasses Super Mario 64. Don't get me wrong. This is my first ever Super Mario. Not my first ever Super Mario game. My first ever Nintendo Switch game. This is where it all started. By far, one of my favorite Mario 3D Mario games. By far. They blew it out of the park with this one. The soundtrack is so good. The speedrunning stuff, the speedrun strats for this game is absolutely crazy. Which is what I love about Mario games. Like, if they're broken, like, okay, if they're, like, super fun and, like, aerodynamic fun, that it's good enough to try and speedrun this game, I would actually do it. This game is fun enough for me to actually try and speedrun this game. This game's actually peak. This is one of my favorite Mario games of all time. Period. And now for a last Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Peak. By far, probably the best 2D Mario game I've ever played. Let me just put it like, maybe, or let's just leave it, just like that. The thing about Mario Wonder, they fixed everything from the new Super Wii issues. One, now the first thing they fixed, they finally got rid of the new Super Wii or new Super U or any. They got rid of new. They got rid of the new. That's good, Nintendo. You finally left it. You finally actually forgot about it. Thank you for that. Anyway, this game is good. I mean, sure, the online play is like kind of garbage. I mean, just the fact that you can't actually play online. All you can see is like transparent players, and they don't even play at the same speed as you. So that kind of sucks. Anything beside that, this game is actually peak though. This game's actually good. And yeah, I really like this game. The fact that they added the fact that they added badges to this game is what's crazy. They took notes from Paper Mario pretty much, and I really like that. I really like that they actually added something. And Elephant Mario. Without this game, we wouldn't have so much memes off this game, which the memes actually died in like a few months, sadly. But this game is still good. I honestly really like this game. It's probably my favorite 2D Mario. My favorite 2D Mario so far. But Super Mario Odyssey is so far my favorite Mario game of all time. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know that this is the longest video I've done so far, but I just wanted to do something different, like a tier list for most Sonic games, for most Kirby games, and for most Mario games. And yeah, again, thank you so much for the 20 subs, and I thank you guys for supporting this channel. Thank you guys for supporting this channel for it to end up growing so much for how it is right now. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. I hope to see you guys next time. Catch you on the flip side. See ya.